This video is part 2 of a detailed quality and color analysis of the iconic Mythical dice collection from Kraken Dice. If you have not seen the first part, you can watch it now and catch up to speed by clicking the link in the upper right-hand corner of this video. In the first video, I discussed 14 different sets from Kraken Dice in their iconic Mythic Kickstarter collection, and now I will be providing further comparative commentary after I do an in-depth review of a bouquet of other Kraken Dice I ordered. Just like I began part 1 of this analysis with the ethereal sets, I would like to directly compare the ethereal Hydra set from iconic Mythical to these. This is Water Lily. This is a set of dice that I ordered directly from Kraken's store. These are much like the iconic Mythical ethereal sets. But you'll notice these are all much bolder, stronger in hue. In every die, you can see the color striations. They stand out and are not milky and bleed together. Every single one, absolutely gorgeous. And unlike the iconic Mythical ethereals, these still hold their color and look good in your hand without becoming a bland mess. Even in my hand, these pale green dice, peppered lightly with soft blues of water and this dull, beautiful gold, these dice maintain their color, charm, and individuality in my hand, unlike the ethereals from iconic Mythical. I know that these are not technically ethereal dice, but it's the same principle. And as advertised in not only the test swatches that I saw, but in the original artwork for the iconic Mythical set, I would have to say I expected something more like these than what actually came in the mail. Moving on. The second comparative set for the ethereals would be this one. The Fairy Pond set. As you can see, similar to the iconic Mythical ethereal vampire set with a little bit of green in it from the ethereal Hydra set. This is a bold fuchsia, the pinkest of pinks with a little purple mixed in, and a mix of the Hydra green and Banshee green from the iconic Mythical set. Another set I ordered as a test comparison, and I must say yet again, the iconic Mythical ethereal vampire dice I ordered, which I have to say, I got 41 of them because I got the 30-piece Archmage set and a standard 11 dice set, and none of those 41 dice look anywhere as good as any of these dice. These dice maintain their colors, their sparkle, the bold hue inside every die. And just like the Water Lily I showed earlier, none of these become a bland mess when you pick them up and hold them. They maintain their colors, bold, crisp. You can see them in your hand. You can see them under all test lighting and test surface conditions, unlike the ethereals that I tested from the iconic Mythical set. A beautiful set, and I highly, highly recommend anyone who likes fairies or fae or elves or even just enchanted woodland things to order these. They make excellent dice for almost all types of magicians. Moving on. The only similarity between the iconic Mythical set and this Cryo Dice set would be Yeti, and that would be a very far stretch. These dice are fairly unique. They are clear with blue, but the wash through them is so sublime, so perfect, that it becomes this magical, bold, delicious ice blue. Like if you can imagine the coldest, most perfect magic water coming from a water elemental at the apex of the globe, I would imagine this color. Unlike the mostly clear sets that I ordered in the Mythical Iconic set, these are even bolder when set against the color of your hand or a backdrop. They actually lose some of their luster against a white background, as opposed to in your hand or on most gaming surfaces, they look even bolder and have even more of the busy, swirling nature of the, I suppose you could call it, ethereal quality that Kraken Dice likes to go for. Absolutely phenomenal set. can't recommend it enough. If you love water, if you love blue, if you like the sky, if you like frost, the Cryo Dice set is perhaps my favorite set I have ever ordered from Kraken Dice. It is phenomenal. Moving on. Now for all of my rainbow lovers, perhaps Jesus and Bible lovers, and LGBT folks that love the rainbow, Distant Rainbow. A phenomenal set of bold, powerful colors. Again, set in clear, but so rich with hue, there's not any clear left. These translucent dice are not what I would call anything like the ethereals. So this is not really even up for comparative analysis with anything in the iconic set, but I had to show it off because I am a friend of queerness and the rainbow, and I do my best to also be a friend of religious people, so I love rainbows in pretty much every way they come. And I must say, these dice are absolutely phenomenal. The bold hue in each and every one is breathtaking. You can see the rainbow from almost every angle. And like the others that I showed off here that are not part of the iconic Mythical set, these dice show up as bold, multi-hued wonders in your hand and on every surface that I tested with every type of lighting. You'll see every color of the rainbow, Roy G. Biv, in these dice. They are fantastic if you love rainbows. I bought this for the same person I mentioned earlier that likes playing lizard races, and she absolutely loves bright colors and the rainbow. So these make her incredibly happy, and I must say, probably as far as color value, the absolute best and brightest set of dice I have ever bought from Kraken. Fantastic dice. Moving on. Last but not least, in part 2, Mermaid Glass. Extraordinarily happy I am with this set. I ordered this for me, and boy howdy am I glad I did. Similar to Distant Rainbow and the boldness that never goes away with Cryo Dice, this is like a cool color spectrum Distant Rainbow. I must say it is the best. The green, the blue, the teal, the soft pink, the dark magenta, it comes together in such a wonderful stratification. It is perfect. You can see each and every color as advertised when the light goes through it, and it has silver numbering, which, as you would know from listening to both of these reviews, I am very fond of. So I would like to feature these 3 dice as a close-up. They look wonderful in my hand and probably in your hand too. This is Mermaid Glass from Kraken, and I must say, this is my favorite translucent set of colors I have ever seen in dice. This even rivals the old Borealis dice, in my opinion, for just how overall lovely and charming they are on any surface and in any lighting condition. And that is Mermaid Glass. In the final part of this video, I am going to do a comparison side by side to harp on some points I made earlier. The first comparison is going to be Fairy Pond beside Ethereal Vampire from the Mythic Iconic set. Let's get some good visuals on these. Here on the left is Iconic Mythical Ethereal Vampire, and here on the right is Fairy Pond. Now, against the white background, these look very similar, especially in the D6. I dug through all dozen D6s, actually, I think 14 D6s I have of this type. This was the only one that had clear and noticeable color differences with the black in it. It is not at all up to the same specifications of quality as the ones that you can order directly from Kraken. Now, again, that is not me poo-pooing Kraken. I think they are a lovely company and they mean well, and with the Kickstarter, it got completely out of hand. I don't think that they had any idea it was going to be as popular as it was, and they had to hurry to produce ridiculous quantities of dice as the Kickstarter went over $1 million. So, as I mentioned in part 1, These dice look lovely when on a brightly lit white background, but unlike the ones you can order from their site normally, the hue is lost on almost all backgrounds. Let me put this, for comparison, behind these dice. Here, these become a blurred mauve or taupe mess, as opposed to these, which retain their bold hue and color. Here, you can see when I pick up these three in my hand, the bold, beautiful colors remain, but yet, when I pick up the three of the ethereal, iconic vampire set, the reds become a pink wash, the black sort of gobbles up any other color that's in there, and especially in normal lightings on normal gaming surfaces, the bold gold of the numbering swallows up all the other colors, and they become a taupe, mauve, or yellow mess that are no fun at all and do not remind me at all of vampires or blood. Moving on. Now I would like to do a direct comparison of Water Lily and Mythic Iconic Ethereal Hydra. Mythic Iconic Ethereal Hydra on the left and Standard Kraken Water Lily on the right. So, as mentioned earlier and in the first review, the Ethereal set was a letdown because of how blended together and how inobvious the bold colors of the Ethereal set are. Now, this set was advertised as faded and blurred together. It was supposed to be a blurred green and soft blue water experience, such as you might see in a lake or a fecund pond that has lots of life and lily pads on it. These, however, were advertised to look like this. Now let me ask you, do they look like that at all? I would say no, especially under this direct and bold lighting on this white reflective surface. The colors light up more than they do in any other way possible that you can capture on camera here, and on every surface of normal gaming lighting and gaming texture that I rolled these on, they were a dull brown or soft yellow mess that did not look anything like a Hydra and were not visually pleasing whatsoever. And like the vampire ones, when you pick them up in your hand, they just become sort of a mauvey, taupey, dingy, urine-colored mess that don't really seem appealing at all in your hand. And this is sort of how it looks like on all the test surfaces, but with worse lighting, it just makes these striations blur together even worse. Moving on. The last direct comparison I want to make is between Mythic Iconic Wraith and the cryo dice that I am oh so a fan of, I mentioned earlier. Now, you can see here on the left we have the iconic Mythical Wraith, which was advertised as the following. You can see here these bold, rich, powerful purples, one of the prettiest purple I've ever seen on dice. The bold blacks, the clear. Now, compare that with what they look like in reality. This is a clear, milky mess that has almost no color whatsoever, and this is the most colored out of all of the 14 D6s I have. This one is the D10 of that set. It has a blush of purple, but it is just a milky smear. Then the D8, of course, has some more black and more purple in it, but it is in such a spaghettified arrangement, it is difficult to tell if it has any color at all or if it is just gray. Now, compare these directly to the gorgeous striated colors inside cryo dice. Powerful blues mixed with clear. See? It is actually clear in there. There are clear bands, and the entire thing radiates bold color from almost every angle. And again, I think a mistake that Kraken made with the ethereals was this dark, brassy gold, this burnished gold color, because in almost every lighting that I have, except this one and the reflective surface, it makes them have this mauve, taupe, yellow tone, especially in your hand. All the colors fade and become almost invisible to where they are just like a clear skin or urine color, and under normal lighting conditions, they look no better than that. So in closing, where does that take us? I believe that takes us to me absolutely recommending Kraken dice. I will absolutely back another Kickstarter of theirs. I do not think that they undersold the ethereal dice sets. I think that my displeasure in them probably comes from me not having ordered ethereal sets from them before and being mostly unfamiliar with that type of translucent or clear dice. And I would like to point out that I am extremely appreciative of how hard such a small number of people worked to deliver over $1 million Kickstarter to the fans. I am very pleased with my order. I will not be making any kind of complaint, nor will I be asking for any money back or anything of the sort. I just wanted to do an in-depth comparative analysis and share with the delightful Kraken community that I have met through the wonderful Facebook group around this Kickstarter my thoughts, and hopefully I can have at least comments, if not video responses, about your dice. Please, whenever you watch this video, share it with anybody else in the group or just anyone that you think would love to talk about dice. I hope that you enjoyed this two-part, in-depth, qualitative, and color analysis of Kraken dice. Be well, and may whatever God you believe in bless you.